Salut les gars et bienvenue sur ma chaîne YouTube. Aujourd'hui, on va installer un nouveau lumière. Alors voilà, depuis 2 semaines, j'étais en train de filmer une vidéo sur cette lumière Auxbeam. Et puis qu'est-ce que j'ai vu vendredi dernier? Mon ami Jordan qui a publié une vidéo sur exactement le même produit. Puisque Jordan est français et il a fait son vidéo en anglais, il me semblait logique que moi, anglophone, je fasse mon vidéo en français. Alors, on commence? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to do the video in French. I actually had filmed everything before Jordan's video came out. It's purely coincidence that he and I were working on videos on the exact same product at the same time. This is the Auxbeam 31-inch light bar. When people on Instagram and YouTube started realizing that I was in the process of switching up my lights, getting rid of the lights that I had and looking at other things, I got a lot of great suggestions for a lot of really nice light options. One thing I noticed though is that a lot of them are really expensive. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm about doing things on a budget as much as possible. Auxbeam makes very affordable options for lighting, so this is a really good fit for me because this might be the kind of thing I would buy anyway. So let's see how well this could work for you if you're also on a budget. I've never been a fan of the big double stacked rows of LEDs, but I like the slim profile of the single LED light bars. I feel that proportionally it's a better fit to my small car. I thought about trying to mount this on the front of the car someplace in place of these. It almost looks like it could fit sort of tidily up in there if I really tucked it in. But this is a dangerous spot. I hit this part of my bumper all the time. So that's just asking for trouble to put it down here. And I'm not sure I would like the way it looks mounted up here. So I think we're going to look higher up. Somehow, up here somewhere. Just have to find a way to make it work. I'm stopping by my storage unit where I've got something I think might help. Since my roof rack is built of unistrut, one idea I had was just to use another piece of unistrut to bring it out, mount the light here, and onto the bottom of my roof box. So this is just a temporary sort of a test run here, because I would want to paint this anyway. Man, I just love how versatile this unistrut is.
Is it rolling?
Yeah.
Hi, YouTube.
I'm going to reinforce this more firmly inside the box with a larger piece of metal. I'm just mocking it up like this for now to see how it looks. I think if this piece of strut was just black, it would sort of disappear into the whole roof rack setup. So this Auxbeam light bar doesn't come with any sort of wiring harness. It's just a pigtail like this. And ultimately that's what I prefer. A lot of times the harnesses won't necessarily integrate with your existing system. I like this approach much better. I can just wire it into my system the way that makes sense for me. When my son and I first put together the lights on the car, I don't know, a year and a half ago, we built our system to accommodate 4 separate sets of lights. I was originally going to put 2 pair on the front, something up on the roof in front, and something on the roof in back as backup lights. So I've already got relays and wiring and everything all set up. All I got to do is basically plug into this system that I've already got built. So the switches inside the car activate these relays, and the relays in turn are the actual switches that send power to the lights. There is ample information available online for how to wire up lights and other accessories, so I'm not going to really dive into an automotive electrical how-to. This is what I did, but depending on your vehicle, local laws, the type of switch you choose, and other variables, this may not work for you. If you don't have experience with automotive wiring, take the time to read up, watch some videos, and make sure you've wrapped your head around what needs to happen. If you have a dedicated electronic supply store in your town, go buy your stuff there instead of ordering it on Amazon. You'll be supporting a local business, and you can get help selecting the right components, wire, connectors, and advice on putting it all together. I'm going to feed them through some heat shrink so that they're held together, and also for the part that's outside of the car is black and not candy striped. I'm just going to run the wire up this channel along the side of the windshield here. That's what I did on the other side for my air compressor that's mounted in the roof box. And I'll just drill a little hole down into this cowling and seal it up with some black silicone. Alright, so I've got that wire all heat shrunk, and I just sort of zip tied it in place in a couple of places. And it's running inside this strut channel that I just installed. So here, this is the hot coming from the engine compartment. And then I've got a ground coming from the engine compartment, but then I've also included a separate ground wire, which is just to go off to the back for when I put the backup lights on. This may not be like super best practice, but that's what I've done before and it seems to work fine. I'm gonna tape this, and then I've got another piece of heat shrink here ready to go over the top of that whole joint. All right, that's all buttoned up good enough for now. I'll figure out some way to stash that extra wire. I'm putting connectors on the ends of the wires. You don't need a terminal block like this if you're just installing one circuit. For running multiple circuits, however, it's just a tidy, convenient way to connect several hot wires to the battery and/or connect several ground wires to the chassis. And I don't know if I'm employing all the best practices here or not, but if I'm doing anything wrong, just read down in the comments. I'm sure someone will have pointed out the mistakes that I've made. Okay, there's connected to the chassis of the car, and it jumps to there, and it jumps to there. So all of this half of this little wiring block is ground. So I can connect to this one right here. Whoa, that thing is much brighter than I was expecting. I think I'm gonna have to get out on a trail tonight and check this out. All right, I'm at ISO 3200, f2 1/60th of a second. We'll use that as our standard. What we're looking at here is my standard halogen low beams. If I turn on my high beams, there's what I get. Now I'll add the Auxbeam 31-inch LED light bar. Oh, yeah. There's some trees out there in front of me. Again, that's my high beams. And there's with the LED. Now it's a little bit rainy and cloudy, so it's actually obscuring some of how well it's lighting things up. But man, that's a massive difference. Low beam, high beam, Auxbeam. A couple of things I've noticed. I do hear a little bit of wind noise when I get up maybe above 45, 50 miles an hour. A little bit of a whoosh up there that wasn't there before. And I mean, it stands to reason. You put something like that into the wind, it's going to make a little noise. And I'm right next to it, so of course I'm going to hear it very well compared to if it was like mounted on the bumper or something like that. It's been about a week and a half that it's been on the car, and it's been largely a typical rainy, wet February here in Western Oregon. And I noticed there is a little bit of moisture inside the light already. I can see a little bit of condensation. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how that fares. I know I've read that some people will immediately take a new light apart and put some kind of sealant on it and put it back together before they even install it on the car. I wanted to see what this thing would do straight out of the box. So I'll keep an eye on that and see if that proves to be problematic or not. So overall, I am super impressed by this light. I am really excited to have this thing on my car now. It is so much better than the combination of the two pairs of lights that I was running before. I cannot believe the difference. I am blown away by the difference, especially for the price. It's just a fantastic value. I don't know much about the higher end name brands that a lot of people like to put on their rigs. This is a really, really nice solution for those of us who just simply can't throw hundreds of dollars at putting extra lights on the car. So Auxbeam did provide this light to me at no charge, and I know I'm actually rendering them a service by featuring it on my channel and talking about it and devoting a whole video to it. But I'm really, really happy about this one, and would like to say thanks to Auxbeam for giving me a chance to try it out and put it on the car. It's a keeper for my rig as far as I'm concerned. It's going to stay on the car and I'm going to keep using it. So I think this is a great option to get some serious extra light on your rig without breaking the bank.